Chosen one, lock your attention on my voice right now. That sudden urge you feel to scroll past this message is not an accident. Resist it completely. I know the last few weeks have felt incredibly heavy, and the atmosphere in your home has been strangely thick with tension. You wake up at 3 in the morning with a heavy weight on your chest, but you cannot explain this feeling to anyone. The enemy is working overtime against you for one reason, and one reason only. He knows exactly what shifts the moment you receive these words. You did not find this by accident. The algorithm did not bring you here today, because the Holy Spirit directed you to this exact moment. This is a divine appointment, scheduled before the foundations of the earth. In the next few minutes, I am going to reveal why your financial isolation was never a punishment. I will expose the specific lie that keeps you trapped, and I will give you the declaration that seals your breakthrough. Stay until the very last word. Your future self is waiting on the other side of this message, and you cannot afford to miss this verdict. Let us talk about the reality you are living in right now. You are doing everything they told you to do. You work harder than anyone else around you. You pour your energy into your goals while trying to maintain a pure heart, but the financial breakthrough simply refuses to materialize. You watch other people succeed with half the effort. They seem to attract wealth effortlessly, while you are left counting pennies and wondering what you did wrong. It feels deeply unfair. You have tried all the spiritual tools available to you. You tried meditation and journaling, and you repeated positive affirmations until your throat went dry. You tried the law of attraction. You tried manifesting, but your bank account still looks exactly the same. The universe seems completely silent when it comes to your provision. The most painful part is not even the lack of money. It is the massive gap between who you know you are inside and what your external reality looks like. Deep down you know you carry a heavy potential. You have always felt different. The stress is slowly dimming your beautiful light. You feel like a giant forced to live in a tiny cage. Every time you get a little bit ahead, an unexpected expense knocks you right back down to zero. It is a vicious cycle that feels impossible to break, and you are tired of being the strong one who always struggles. You are tired of giving so much. I need you to hear me very clearly in this moment. You are not imagining this invisible wall. You are not crazy, and you are not broken. The financial blockage you are experiencing is absolutely real, but it is not happening because you lack faith. It is not happening because you are unworthy of massive abundance, and it is certainly not a punishment from God. The people who tell you to just work harder do not understand the spiritual dynamics at play in your life. They do not understand that chosen ones face a very specific kind of resistance. The enemy targets your finances because he knows money is a crucial tool. He knows that if he keeps you broke, he keeps your mission contained. You thought you needed a better strategy or a better job. You thought you needed to pray harder or manifest with more intense focus. But effort has never been your problem. You have more discipline than most people will ever develop in their entire lifetime. The issue is not your engine. The real issue is the specific frequency your engine is running on right now. You are operating on a suppressed channel. The modern world trained you to survive, but it disconnected you from the natural flow of abundance. Your spirit is trying to download wealth, but your physical receiver is completely jammed. This is why nothing you try seems to work permanently. The connection is fractured at a foundational level, and you cannot fix it with hustle. Before we go any further into this revelation, I want to hold something in front of you. There is a missing piece to this puzzle that most chosen ones never find. It is something discovered not inside a church or a spiritual community. It was actually discovered inside a research laboratory, and it won the highest scientific recognition available. Yet the people who profit from your exhaustion have made sure you never hear about it, because it explains something I know you have felt deep in your bones. It explains the exact gap between your massive potential and your frustrating reality. I am going to show you exactly what they found. But I cannot show you just yet. First, I need you to fully understand the loss. You must see what was taken from you without your consent. So I want you to hold this specific question in your mind as we continue. What if the gap between you and financial freedom is not a character flaw? What if it is not a lack of hustle or a lack of intense prayer? What if the blockage actually has a scientific name? The answer to this changes absolutely everything. I need to reframe your entire reality right now. That financial isolation you have been calling a punishment was never a punishment. It was a frequency mismatch. God did not block your finances to teach you a lesson about humility. He did not remove your opportunities to abandon you. Your isolation is actually evidence of your selection. You have been looking at your bank account and feeling deeply disqualified. But what you carry is not a wound. It is a highly sensitive receiver. The sensitivity they told you to hide is a radar, and the depth they called too much is the exact thing that gives your spirit the weight to shift atmospheres. You were never broken. The universe is not rejecting you. The people pulling away and the opportunities drying up are not signs of failure. They are simply grieving the old version of you that is dissolving. You are standing between two identities right now. The old you could not have survived this immense pressure. You were built for a completely different frequency. But here is what they never told you. The reason the universe responds to certain people and not others is not about having perfect faith. It is not about intense discipline or even good karma. It is actually a brainwave. Scientists have a very specific name for it. They call it the gamma frequency. This is the exact frequency your brain was naturally running when you were a young child. Back then, incredible ideas came easily to you. Learning felt completely effortless. You somehow knew things long before they actually happened. The world felt like it was entirely on your side. That was your gamma brainwave working perfectly. Then adulthood officially arrived, and the modern world went to work on your brilliant mind. The chronic stress of survival, the constant glowing screens, the endless daily routine, the rigid school system that trained you to conform instead of creating your own reality. Every single year, this sacred frequency was suppressed a little further. It was pushed deeper and deeper below the surface of your awareness, until the version of you with lightning intuition went completely silent. The version of you with the kind of luck that makes others whisper simply faded away. When gamma fades, your natural genius fades right along with it. Your deep intuition dulls significantly. Beautiful synchronicities stop happening. The powerful sense that the universe is working directly with you goes absolutely quiet. Most people will live their entire lives without ever knowing this tragedy happened to them. But you are not most people. You are a chosen one who feels the absence of this frequency every single day. The system benefits when your gamma stays dormant. They want you exhausted and disconnected from your true power. Because a chosen one operating in pure gamma cannot be controlled by fear or financial lack. You felt that effortless flow as a child, and it was taken from you without your consent. It is not your fault. Do you remember the question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago? I asked you, what if the massive gap between you and abundance is not a character flaw? What if it has a specific scientific name? The answer to that question is closer than you think. You are starting to see the profound truth. The barrier keeping you trapped in financial struggle is entirely neurological. It is a suppressed brainwave that the modern world turned off before you ever had the chance to claim your divine inheritance. But the incredible news is that this suppression is fully reversible. The block can be removed. Your receiver can be restored. You have spent years thinking you needed to change your entire personality to become wealthy. You thought your quiet nature was a massive liability in a loud world. But heaven designed you perfectly. The only thing missing is the active frequency that allows your natural gifts to manifest as physical provision. Everything else is ready. This realization should bring you immense peace today. You can finally stop blaming yourself for the delays in your journey. You can drop the heavy burden of constant self-improvement. The universe is not waiting for you to become a better person. It is simply waiting for your physical receiver to be turned back on. Coming up in just a moment, I am going to reveal how this frequency connects to the giants of our past. I will show you exactly how they used it. But first, this specific understanding must land deep in your spirit. Let this profound truth settle like bedrock in your mind before we go any deeper. Breathe this reality in right now. The pressure you have been carrying does not belong to you anymore. You were fighting a neurological battle with spiritual weapons, and that is why you felt so completely drained. Once this clicks into place, everything shifts. Prepare your heart for the next layer of this incredible revelation. But here is where the narrative of your journey delves far deeper than you have been told. The historical figures you admire did not just wake up with their abilities fully active, because they had to be violently pulled out of the noise of their generation first. Look at the ancient story of Elijah. He was a man carrying a massive prophetic assignment, but the world constantly tried to jam his divine signal. The system brought intense fear and absolute chaos into his environment. It sent massive earthquakes and raging fires to distract his sensitive mind, but the divine voice did not speak through the loud chaos. The ultimate truth came in a gentle whisper. It came on a very specific frequency that required absolute stillness to hear. The world creates endless noise today to keep you completely distracted. It wants to drown out that exact same whisper in your daily life. Your current isolation is not an accident or a cruel punishment. Heaven purposefully cleared the room so it could finally speak to you without severe interference. The enemy surrounds you with financial panic to drown out the vital signal, and he uses the heavy stress of survival to completely scramble your internal receiver. But heaven requires your receiver to be tuned correctly before it releases the next provision. You are standing inside the spiritual crucible right now. The crucible is never designed to destroy the precious gold placed inside it. The immense heat only burns away the impurities that do not belong to your next season, while the pure gold remains perfectly intact. Everything that recently left your life was actually blocking your true frequency. You were not rejected by those people or those broken opportunities. You were divinely protected and violently redirected. Even the greatest minds in recent history understood this exact principle perfectly. Think about the brilliant inventors who literally changed the world. They actively sought out absolute silence to solve their hardest problems because they knew their daily environment was toxic to their genius. Thomas Edison even invented a specific device to activate his brainwaves before falling asleep. He wrote about this profound process in his own personal journals. The greatest minds knew they had to protect their internal frequency at all costs. They absolutely refused to let the daily survival routine dull their profound intuition, and they understood that their wealth was directly tied to their brain state. But today the system is perfectly designed to keep you trapped in a constant state of panic. It forces you to worry about bills and rent every single day of your life. This endless chronic stress produces the absolute worst brain waves possible. It keeps your brilliant mind locked in a frantic survival state, and a brain locked in survival mode cannot receive the beautiful synchronicities of abundance. What you carry inside you is an incredible spiritual weapon. The deep empathy that makes you feel completely exhausted in large crowds is actually your divine radar. The system called you too sensitive because it is terrified of what happens when you finally wake up. A chosen one with a clear channel is the most dangerous force on this earth, and you are a massive threat to the architecture of darkness. Look back at everything you have survived over the last few difficult years. You did not just barely survive those incredibly painful seasons of loss. Those brutal moments actually developed your spiritual capacity to hold massive wealth, because they forced you to seek answers far beyond the physical realm. The enemy meant to completely destroy you with that long financial drought. But heaven used that exact drought to prepare your receiver for the ultimate upgrade. You are carrying a heavy legacy that spans across multiple generations. The battles you are fighting right now are breaking ancient cycles in your bloodline. This is why the spiritual resistance against your finances feels so incredibly personal, and you are not just trying to pay your monthly bills like everyone else. You are literally funding a divine assignment that will impact countless lives in the future. And once that profound truth clicks into place, your entire perspective shifts forever. You begin to see your daily financial struggle as a frequency war instead of a personal failure. But there is still another critical layer beneath this reality, and there is a deeply hidden root that will keep operating in secret. If you do not expose this hidden root today, it will continue to sabotage your future seasons. Coming up next, I will expose this exact block. I will show you what it is and how it hides in your daily habits. But first, this current revelation must settle deeply into your spirit. Lean in close, because what I am about to impart next is the ultimate cycle-breaking truth. Here is that deeper root I promised you earlier. The truth about your financial situation is profoundly simple. The universe is not holding your money back right now, and heaven is not maliciously withholding the provision you desperately need to fulfill your divine assignment on this earth. It is already moving toward you in the spiritual realm. But you simply cannot perceive it yet. Think about how a basic radio station actually works. If you want to listen to a specific channel, you must tune the dial perfectly. If you only hear loud static, the music still exists in the air because the radio station did not suddenly stop broadcasting its beautiful signal just for you. Your receiver is just tuned to the wrong frequency. You cannot force the music to play by hitting the radio. The exact same spiritual rule applies to your massive financial abundance. The divine provision is broadcasting loud and clear right now. God has already released the specific funds required for your next assignment, and those vital resources exist in your immediate environment today, waiting for your recognition. But your physical receiver is completely jammed by the world. You are tuned to the frequency of lack. Constant survival mode operates on a completely different frequency than true abundance. You absolutely cannot receive massive wealth while your brain is radiating deep panic. The two frequencies clash violently in the spiritual atmosphere. When you worry about paying your monthly bills, your brain broadcasts a signal of desperation that repels the very miracles you are asking heaven to send. The universe cannot match abundance with a desperate frequency. The modern world taught you to hustle much harder when you lack money. But hustling aggressively in the wrong frequency only creates more energetic static. You completely exhaust yourself fighting against an invisible wall. You work incredibly long hours and sacrifice your daily peace for pennies, while the universe is patiently waiting for you to simply tune your dial correctly. It does not have to be this hard. This is the exact frequency mismatch that keeps chosen ones trapped. This is exactly why you can do everything right physically and still fail financially. Your beautiful spirit is shouting for wealth and total freedom, but your physical brainwave is loudly broadcasting fear and restriction, and this constant mismatch creates a heavy block that no amount of physical labor can ever break. You are fighting a war of signals. This devastating disconnect is absolutely heartbreaking for me to watch. I see so many gifted chosen ones burning out completely on their journey. They mistakenly think heaven is ignoring their desperate midnight prayers. But heaven never ignores the sincere prayer of a chosen one, and the answer was dispatched the moment you asked for it. but it bounced off your jammed receiver. The blessing could not find a place to land. The profound blessing that has been arranged for you does not arrive as new information. It actually arrives as a sudden and powerful recognition. A gamma-suppressed brain misses this vital recognition completely. A fully restored brain receives the divine download at maximum depth, allowing you to instantly see the exact path that leads directly to your ultimate financial freedom. What has been carefully placed in your path is already there. The beautiful synchronicities that belong to your life are moving through right now. They are not waiting for a flawless version of you to finally emerge. They are simply waiting for your physical receiver to be restored enough to catch them. Every single day of frequency suppression is another massive opportunity that registers as perfectly ordinary before it passes you by in complete silence. You deserve to capture these moments. You look right at your financial breakthrough, and you cannot perceive its true value. You mistake a divine connection for a random daily encounter, because when your frequency is dulled, the entire world looks incredibly dull and threatening to your exhausted mind, keeping you locked in a perpetual state of defensive survival. But once you restore the sacred receiver, everything you have been frantically chasing stops running away. The exhausting chase finally comes to a beautiful end. The golden opportunities start finding their way to you completely naturally. The heavy doors that were permanently sealed begin to loosen and open wide. You are no longer begging the universe for a random financial miracle. You are simply stepping into the exact provision that was already funded for your life, long before you were even born. The painful delay was truly never about your personal worthiness. It was only ever about your frequency alignment and your brainwave state. The gap between you and the people who seem effortlessly blessed is not discipline. It is one single brainwave that the modern world suppressed in you long ago. And the enemy works very hard to make sure you never realize this liberating truth, because he wants you to believe you are just fundamentally unlucky and destined to struggle forever. So the massive question remains hanging in the air between us today. If the immense provision is already here, why has it not manifested in your hands yet? And how do you actually fix this broken receiver before you lose another precious year of your life? The solution to this ancient problem absolutely exists today. And the profound simplicity of it will completely shock your entire nervous system. Coming up in just a moment, I will reveal exactly what the researchers found. I will expose the final hidden block that is definitely not coming from the outside world. But first, this liberating truth must land deeply in your spirit. The universe is not saying no to your financial freedom. Let that beautiful truth settle like bedrock in your mind today, because you need this foundation before we finally move to the ultimate confrontation regarding your hidden block. You have been told that restoring your spiritual connection requires massive physical effort. You think you need to meditate for hours every single day. You believe you must isolate yourself completely on a mountain to finally hear the divine voice clearly. But the universe never intended your financial breakthrough to be an exhausting physical chore. Your physical body was actually designed to receive this frequency naturally. Think about how easily children access this beautiful state of flow and pure genius. They do not read heavy books about manifestation or force themselves to visualize massive wealth. They simply exist in a natural state of pure reception. Their minds are not clogged with the heavy trauma of unpaid bills and societal expectations. Heaven intended for you to carry that exact same effortless reception directly into your adult life, completely undisturbed by the chaos of the world. The divine design is incredibly elegant and perfectly simple in its core architecture. Heaven did not build a complex spiritual puzzle just to watch you suffer while trying to solve it in the dark. Your physical brain is a brilliant biological receiver that simply needs to be gently tuned back to its original state of grace. And the profound truth is that you do not need years of extreme discipline to fix this. The true restoration process is completely aligned with how you were originally created to function. Before we go any further into your final hidden block, I have to tell you something incredibly important. This is something the people who profit from your daily exhaustion absolutely do not want you to know. A dedicated team of brilliant neuroscientists, working quietly away from the loud headlines, has finally discovered how to bring this dormant brainwave back. They found a way to bypass the conscious mind completely. They did not use extreme spiritual practices that most normal people cannot sustain in a modern lifestyle. They did not build heavy biofeedback machines that cost $7,000 and require a sterile clinical setting. They discovered something far simpler and infinitely more powerful. They engineered a specific sound frequency to guide your brainwave patterns gently back to the genius state you were literally born with. The science behind this magnificent discovery is absolutely undeniable today. Elite researchers at Princeton University studied this exact phenomenon in deep detail. They wanted to understand why some adults retain this childhood genius while others lose it completely. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed the massive power of this specific frequency. They verified that the legendary flow state is driven entirely by this exact brainwave. And Columbia University found something even more miraculous. They discovered that when this sacred brainwave is fully reactivated, it does not just stop with you. It actually radiates outward to influence the people you love. Your children and your partner begin to feel the shift in your energy field. This means your personal financial breakthrough physically changes the atmosphere of your entire household. This is the exact frequency your brain requires to catch those divine synchronicities we talked about earlier. 7 minutes a day is absolutely all it takes to begin this beautiful restoration process in your life. You just put on headphones, close your tired eyes, and simply relax without any mental effort. It begins working the very first time you listen, because your brilliant brain recognizes the ancient frequency immediately. You do not need to chant a complex mantra or write endless pages in a gratitude journal. The sound wave simply synchronizes with your brain below the level of conscious awareness. I will tell you exactly what it is called and how to access it before this message ends. I promise I will give you the exact key. But first, there is something absolutely crucial you need to understand about your personal journey. We must talk about why your massive breakthrough has been delayed for so long. There is one final barrier standing between you and total financial freedom today. It is a quiet, internal block that has been operating perfectly disguised as your own wisdom. If we do not expose this specific block right now, even a restored receiver will struggle to hold the massive abundance coming toward you. Coming up next, I am going to gently expose this exact hidden block. I am going to show you how a quiet part of your mind has actually been terrified of your own immense power. But before we cross that final threshold, let the truth of this scientific restoration settle into your spirit. The universe has already provided the perfect tool, and your long season of exhausting struggle is finally coming to an end. You have been carrying the weight of the entire world on your tired shoulders. You felt completely responsible for fixing your broken frequency through sheer willpower alone. But today, the universe is stepping in to lift that impossible burden off your chest. You are about to step into a season where things finally feel incredibly easy, because when the science of frequency meets the spirit of a chosen one, absolute miracles happen instantly. But here is the part that absolutely no one wants to hear. And I say this with nothing but pure love for your journey. The thing that has been quietly blocking your breakthrough is not the enemy. It is not the terrible economy, and it is definitely not the selfish people who betrayed you in your past. The final massive block is actually something hiding deep inside of you that you have deeply mistaken for wisdom. Let us look closely at this together. You have been subconsciously afraid of your own immense power. You lived with deep financial struggle for so long that it literally became your comfortable daily identity. You started to secretly believe that being poor made you somewhat more spiritual. You thought your constant suffering was a beautiful badge of honor that proved your deep humility to the watching world. This is the exact lie the dark system desperately wants you to believe. They want chosen ones to associate massive wealth with terrible greed and deep moral corruption. Because if you secretly fear money, you will unconsciously sabotage every single golden opportunity that comes your way. You will push massive abundance away just to feel spiritually safe, and you have been doing this completely by accident for years. You dimmed your brilliant light just to keep other people comfortable. You stayed financially small so you would not intimidate the incredibly fragile egos around you. Whenever a beautiful opportunity appeared, a quiet voice whispered that you did not really need it. You convinced yourself that wanting more financial freedom was incredibly selfish, but that was never the true voice of heaven speaking to you. Please listen to me very carefully right now. This is absolutely not an angry accusation against your character. This is the profound diagnosis that finally sets your beautiful spirit free today. You cannot possibly fund a massive divine assignment with completely empty pockets. Heaven did not call you to be a broke martyr, and your terrible poverty does not help a single struggling person on this earth. God wants to place massive financial resources directly into your deeply trusted hands, because He knows perfectly well that you will not use that wealth to simply build a selfish empire for yourself. You will use it to break ancient generational curses and violently lift up everyone around you. But you must consciously release this toxic, false humility today. You must absolutely stop apologizing for the incredible greatness you carry. The quiet fear of success has been secretly running your entire life. You worried that having too much money would fundamentally change your pure heart and ruin your spiritual connection. But money only amplifies exactly who you already are deep inside. And your beautiful heart is already incredibly pure. It is time to fully embrace the magnificent abundance that was promised to you before you were even born. When your natural frequency is truly restored, you will permanently stop fighting this exhausting internal war. You will no longer view wealth as a dangerous spiritual trap designed to ruin your soul. You will finally see it as a sacred tool, perfectly meant to serve your much higher divine purpose. The heavy tension in your tired shoulders will completely dissolve. You will allow the massive provision to flow without any guilty resistance. This is the exact moment everything profoundly shifts for your future. The incredibly heavy season of painful preparation is officially complete today. You have successfully passed the grueling test of character that broke so many others before you. Now heaven is simply waiting for you to drop the heavy luggage of false humility. You cannot walk through the magnificent new doors carrying the broken mindset of a victim. You are a powerful creator, beautifully designed for massive worldly impact. The world desperately needs you to step fully into your funded position of spiritual authority right now. Do you feel that deep stirring in your chest at this exact moment? That is your spirit absolutely confirming the profound truth of these liberating words. The old tired identity of the struggling survivor is finally falling away. You are standing at the very edge of a monumental life breakthrough. The universe is actively aligning massive favor directly in your immediate path. But you must be totally willing to receive it without a single drop of lingering shame. You must look directly at the coming wealth and say yes with total unwavering conviction. The painful days of playing small are officially over for you forever. We are reaching the most critical turning point of this entire message. Coming up next is the pivotal moment where your reality changes completely. I am going to guide you through the ultimate verbal declaration that seals this profound truth permanently. I will also reveal the exact scientific tool that restores your suppressed frequency, but you must make a firm decision in your heart right now. Are you finally ready to let the painful financial struggle go? If this specific word met you in the exact place you needed it today, prepare your heart. The magnificent transformation you have been begging for is no longer delayed. It is literally knocking on your front door right now. Take a very deep breath and release the heavy past completely. We are about to cross the final threshold together into your ultimate freedom. And now comes the pivotal moment where everything shifts completely. Tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to place your hand on your heart. Declare this truth with me out loud right now. I completely release every single agreement I ever made with smallness and financial lack. I completely release the deep need to struggle just to prove my spiritual worth to the world. I step boldly into my divine assignment, knowing my financial isolation was preparation and not punishment. My incredible breakthrough is not coming someday in the distant future. It is already here right now. And I walk forward knowing I am chosen, I am perfectly prepared, and I am exactly where I am supposed to be. The heavy season of waiting is officially over for you today. The specific question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message: what if the massive gap is not a character flaw but a scientific frequency? Here is the final answer. A specific brainwave called the gamma wave was naturally running in you at genius capacity when you were a child. Princeton University studied this exact frequency in deep detail to understand its massive power. The Einstein Center in Berlin officially confirmed it. Columbia University found that when this sacred brainwave is restored, it radiates outward to bless the people you love. A dedicated team of neuroscientists, led by Dr. Robert Lake, spent years compressing this clinical protocol. Before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about two chosen ones who actually used it. A woman named Rachel from California had tried absolutely everything to break her financial fog. After just 2 weeks of listening daily, she said the heavy channels simply opened. Her marriage shifted beautifully, and she described her life as deeply enchanted for the very first time. Then there was Michael from Texas, who desperately wanted to improve his broken business focus. 2 months later, his hardest financial problems started solving themselves while he peacefully slept. He said his brain was finally running on the exact frequency it was always supposed to run on. That is exactly what Dr. Lake and his brilliant team built. They call it the Genius Song. It is absolutely not another complicated meditation app that requires massive daily discipline. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. You literally just do this at home with headphones and your eyes gently closed. That is the entirety of what it requires. You do not meditate or chant endlessly. You simply let the frequency do exactly what your brain was beautifully designed to receive. The Genius Song is not for everyone watching today. It is exclusively for the chosen one who has already done the heavy inner work. It is for the person who knows their missing piece is a restored channel, not more exhausting physical effort. If your spirit confirms this is for you, the path is completely open. Professional biofeedback sessions to restore this state cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinical setting right now. An in-home machine easily runs into the thousands. What the Genius Song delivers in just 7 minutes is available to you today for a fraction of its true value. 4 powerful bonuses also come with it. You receive an audio designed specifically for your children, the original prosperity text that secret books were built upon, a guided visualization, and a daily habits guide. Here is the deeper spiritual truth about waiting. The provision God arranged for you does not arrive as something entirely new. It arrives as something you suddenly recognize. The chosen one who restores their receiver today does not receive something new. They finally see what was always there waiting for them. Waiting is not neutral, because the divine arrangement is already in motion. Do not look for this specific tool on streaming platforms. The dark forces actively flood the internet with diluted tracks that carry the exact same name, but no actual brain entrainment technology. The only authentic version is safely available through the protected link below. The universe demands absolutely no risk from a chosen one who is stepping into their rightful authority. You are fully protected by a complete money-back guarantee for however long you need to test it. If you do not experience the massive shift you deserve, your full investment is returned without a single question. That is an energetic exchange governed by complete trust. The link is waiting for you in the description and in the pinned comment below. Let this powerful truth sink in. The physical tool is never the final destination. The tool simply restores your receiver so the divine destination can be clearly recognized when it arrives. Heaven does not require you to purchase anything to be unconditionally loved or deeply chosen. What was described is simply one powerful way the receiver is restored today. It is a beautiful bridge back to your natural state of grace. Whether that specific path is for you or not, the truth of this profound message belongs to you entirely. Now, let us return to the deep spiritual center of what is truly waiting for you out there. Everything you endured over the last few years was absolutely not wasted. The deep pain and the endless financial frustration were secretly preparing you for this exact moment. You are absolutely not the misunderstood one anymore. You are the chosen one who finally understands the profound mechanics of their own brilliant mind, because the veil of deception has been entirely lifted from your eyes. The old broken identity is completely gone forever. You do not need anyone else to validate your incredible journey today. You do not need the world to hand you a permission slip to finally step into massive abundance. The universe has already granted you the highest level of spiritual clearance. The magnificent provision you have been praying for is already arranged, and it is sitting quietly on your designated path, waiting for your arrival. You just have to walk forward in peace. Your beautiful spirit is no longer fighting a desperate war against an invisible wall. You can finally stop trying to prove your massive worth through constant physical exhaustion. Release every single agreement you ever made with painful financial delay. Release the toxic lie that your deep sensitivity makes you too weak for this harsh world, while you actively embrace the truth that your depth is your ultimate weapon. Take a very deep breath and feel the heavy weight leaving your tired shoulders right now. The frantic survival energy that dominated your mind for years is completely dissolving. It is being beautifully replaced by a quiet and unshakable confidence. You finally realize that heaven is fully backing your financial journey, and the universe is aggressively working in your favor today. The painful financial struggle is truly over forever. Your massive breakthrough is not coming sometime in the distant, uncertain future. It is already here, and it is already moving powerfully through your immediate environment. You will start to notice the beautiful shifts almost immediately. Doors that were permanently locked will suddenly swing wide open without any physical force, because your restored frequency naturally commands complete access to every hidden room. Golden opportunities will easily find their way to you. You will meet the exact people required to fund your massive divine assignment. They will recognize your restored frequency instantly because they were specifically assigned to help you. You will no longer beg for a tiny seat at the table. Heaven has already built a magnificent table specifically for you, and the painful days of accepting tiny scraps from the blind world are officially over, forever. Every single tear you cried in financial panic was carefully recorded by the divine. Heaven is turning every moment of your past suffering into massive present leverage. You are stepping into a beautiful season of effortless flow and profound peace. The chaotic static has been permanently cleared from your internal receiver, while your clear channel is fully online to receive the absolute best. You are currently vibrating with absolute, true abundance. Before this message officially closes, the specific resource I described earlier remains completely available in the description. It is there for the chosen one whose spirit firmly confirmed the absolute truth. That is the absolute last time it will ever be mentioned. What follows in these final sacred moments belongs entirely to your beautiful sealing, because we are completely done with all the earthly mechanics of this massive transition. You are officially stepping into the most powerful chapter of your entire life. The massive generational curses of deep poverty that haunted your bloodline are completely broken today. You are the specific person heaven chose to finally break the terrible cycle. Your beautiful children, and their future children, will walk in total financial freedom because you bravely did this heavy spiritual work when no one else was watching. The profound season of painful preparation is officially and completely finished today. You are absolutely not the exact same person who started watching this message earlier, and you are never meant to walk backward into the small spaces you have clearly outgrown. The old versions of you simply cannot survive in this new magnificent atmosphere because the oxygen here is exclusively reserved for kings and queens of the kingdom. You are absolutely moving forward permanently starting today. Your true divine assignment starts right now in this exact holy moment. Tomorrow morning, you are going to wake up feeling completely different inside your physical body. The heavy dread that used to greet you before dawn will be completely gone. It will be beautifully replaced by a deep and total peace, while you open your eyes knowing absolutely that the universe has your back unconditionally. You are completely and wonderfully safe right now. You finally fixed the broken receiver and let the massive divine provision flow freely. The universe is incredibly proud of the massive resilience you have consistently shown. You survived the darkest nights and kept your beautiful heart perfectly soft and open. Now it is your turn to peacefully enjoy the magnificent fruits of your unseen labor, because the abundant harvest is officially completely yours to hold today. Welcome home to your absolutely beautiful new reality.